Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. In today's video, I will be tapping into the energies of the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. So as per usual, the timestamps will be in the description bar below as well as the comments. Before we dive into today's video, I wanted to give a quick mention to Otter Spirit for sending me over their wonderful bracelets here. So if you guys are not familiar with Otter Spirit, they are a brand that focuses on making high quality gemstone jewelry. And their purpose is to protect wild sea otters. And so I'm really excited to show you guys the bracelets that I chose this month. Now, what really stood out to me about this brand is $1 per bracelet that is purchased is being donated to protect wild sea otters. Okay, so they work with supporting organizations, just to name one, Monterey Bay Aquarium. So you could choose your bracelets, basically based off of intention or your zodiac sign. So this month I chose based off of intention, and I actually chose their A Love pack, which is absolutely beautiful. Seeing it in person, I mean, not only are the colors very vibrant, what I really love about these bracelets is the fit and how comfortable they are. Okay, so the first bracelet in this pack is rose quartz. And again, the intention is love, but I also feel like this was very fitting for the month of February. You know, it is the month of love, but it works with the heart chakra here. I feel like this could also make a really great gift for possibly a loved one, whether it be a family member, a friend, a partner, or maybe you just want to treat yourself, kind of like what I did here. The second bracelet I chose was red jasper. And lastly, rhodonite. Okay, so you are not only receiving these high quality bracelets, you're supporting a brand with a purpose, which is always great. If you guys are interested in checking them out, you could use code SAGE20 for 20% off of your order. Or if you exceed the amount of $99, you could use code SAGE30 for 30% off of your order. And I will have a link as well as the coupon codes in the description bar below for easy access. So thank you again, Otter Spirit. Okay, so starting off with Aries, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have perseverance. And bottom of the deck, we have completion. Okay. Someone wants to rise above a situation, or they want to work something out here. It's a very solution oriented energy. But initially what I was getting is like rising, like wanting to rise above or let go of something so that they could see some sort of progress. So for example, if you are in disagreement with this person, they're like, okay, I'm ready to, let this go. They could also be looking at the connection as if there were a lot of tests or obstacles, and they're just ready to turn over a new leaf or let go of what feels heavy. They are acknowledging that the both of you have just completed something that feels very draining or it was very difficult to overcome. But I think that this is someone who's ready for the next step. And more specifically, they're trying to detach from a negative experience or something that occurred between the both of you in the past. It's like, let's leave that there and let's move forward. So let's dive into tarot and see what's going on here. The Three of Swords. So this could be someone who's feeling very torn about you or the situation with you this week. There's something that they're trying to communicate, Aries, or there's an energy of trying to get through to you, but maybe they feel a bit misunderstood. Or for some of you, they don't have a way of, communicating with you. Some of you could be dealing with the Capricorn. We have the Devil and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. So this is just, confirming what I said. The both of you had to complete a very tough cycle, but there's something here that they're still feeling an unhealthy attachment to. So they're wanting to accept this change or turn over a new leaf, but there may be, for example, a bad habit that they're continuing to dabble in. Maybe it's a thinking pattern, or there's some sort of emotion that feels very negative or draining, but they're still holding on to it here. Some of you could be dealing with a Capricorn, like I mentioned, or a fixed sign, which would be Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo. Okay. How is this person feeling about Aries? So we have the High Priestess. Some of you could be thinking of a Pisces or a Leo, the Sun card. There's something that this person is realizing about you while they're in a period of solitude. So there could be, again, a lack of communication between the both of you, or there's something in particular that they're keeping to themselves. Because this could also indicate that you're speaking to this person, but the conversations are very surface level. Okay. But there is an energy of trying to use their intuition or follow their intuition to maneuver through the situation. So I'm, receiving a download where it's like there's a lack of clarity, or there's something here that they're not speaking up about. Um, the Sun card, it is an optimistic energy, but it also touches on clarity or something being illuminated to them. So it may be that this person's having like a full circle moment, or something that you communicated to them in the past is making sense to them in the now. Although I think they're keeping it to themselves. There's something they're trying to process or fathom on their own prior to bringing it up to you. The Six of Wands. Someone here could also be in the public eye, not going to be the case for all of you, but I feel like they're really wanting a successful outcome. And something that's persistently coming up here, Aries, is they really want to get over an obstacle, right? And obviously this is easier said than done, so it could be something that they're wanting, but it still feels difficult to do. But the Six of Wands is all about success, victory, a positive outcome, especially with the Sun card. So I think this person is holding on to hope or believing in what is not yet tangible. Like having hope that you guys are going to work through the obstacles, having hope that even if you guys are not speaking right now, they're going to, receive an opportunity to reconnect with you or communicate with you again. And there may be something in particular that this person is subliminally hinting to you this week. The Eight of Wands. So they're going to be breaking the silence. If you're like, am I going to hear from this person? Are they going to speak up? I do see that with the Eight of Wands. And this is, for the Eight of Wands to be clarifying the High Priestess, it's someone who's been silent with you for quite some time. Or if you have been speaking and it's been like surface level conversations, there's something in particular they haven't been telling you, and they're going to open up about it, is what I see here. Some of you may have a gut feeling about what this person's going to communicate, or there's something that your gut is telling you, but I see it being confirmed for you this week through their communication. The Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles could touch on like a mentality of lack. It could touch on, someone who's going through some form of financial constraints. But I think that, what I'm intuitively picking up on is someone who wants to come out of the cold. They don't want to be an outsider in your life. They're very tired of it. And they're also tired of thinking about you, thinking about the connection with you, and not acting on their emotions. So I do see that this is a week they're communicating with you, and it could even be manifesting a specific outcome as well, because the Eight of Wands is a card of manifestation. The Five of Pentacles, clarifying the Sun card, is someone who's really looking forward to communicating with you because they're tired of the silence. Okay. In their mind, they may feel like they're either, it's like, again, a mentality of lack where they feel like they are not enough, or it's feeling like they have not offered you enough in this connection. The Queen of Cups. Definitely wanting to have a heart-to-heart conversation here. A lot of water energy. So this person is, operating from their heart space. And I say a lot of water energy. We have the Queen of Cups, but with the High Priestess, I'm getting a very, like a sensitive conversation, or someone opening up to you about something that feels very difficult for them to do. Eight of Wands, Queen of Wands. You know, they view you as someone who's very different from them. You operate in a different way. You express your emotions in a different way. Okay, so the differences could be highlighted this week, but the Queen of Wands is when someone's highly attracted to you. So it's not that the differences are outweighing the similarities or it's something that's creating a block. Instead, it's drawing them closer towards you, or there's this magnetic pull that they feel. They are viewing you in this like very bold and confident energy, and they may feel like you have been very open, and you don't shy away from expressing your emotions, where that may be something that this person struggles with. The Magician. Yeah. Definitely feel like, with the Eight of Wands and the Magician, they're manifesting a specific outcome, or they have a vision of how this conversation is going to play out in their mind this week, and they want it to, results in their desired outcome. And we have the King of Swords. Yeah, I do see someone who's trying to be logical about the situation. Okay, so they are being realistic, but I see them operating from a heart space where they're opening up to you emotionally. They're telling you how they feel. And King of Swords, High Priestess, again, it could just be indicating that this is someone who has been silent with you for X amount of time, or it's someone that you feel like, you felt like you were not going to hear from them because of how long they were silent with you. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys this week. Moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus. So let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, let's see. Dissipating. Okay. And bottom of the deck here, discovery. Someone feels like they're losing grip in a situation, or something is kind of like vanishing in front of them. So, but I'm like, on an intuitive level, I think that they um, don't feel like they have control over a situation, or initially what I was getting is like losing grip in a situation here. Okay. And they may feel like they kind of watched something occur, or watched something occur in a connection with you without really trying to do something about it. And it's like, okay, this situation is coming to an end, or I feel like I've lost, Taurus in this connection, but I haven't done anything about it. It's like something vanishing, or something being dismissed right in front of them, but it's like they're watching it occur is what's coming through here. And definitely feeling, powerless in a situation, or feeling like there's nothing left for me to do. Okay. Taurus, this person may have had some sort of leverage in this connection, or you were giving them the benefit of the doubt in the past, and in the now, they may feel like that's no longer the case. How is this person feeling about Taurus? Okay, so we have the Magician and the Seven of Cups, feeling very confused, at a loss of words. Someone here could be watching. Someone here could be accepting the reality of a situation, okay? Watching how you are operating, or kind of just, how this connection is working out is obviously visible to them, but it's also causing a lot of confusion here. And with the Seven of Cups, they could also view this connection as if there were a lot of mixed signals between the both of you, okay? Magician and the Seven of Cups could also just be a very, very confused individual, someone who doesn't know what they want, but they have a way with their words, or they have a way of, even if it was in the past, maybe they would communicate in a certain way where you were giving them the benefit of the doubt, or they were communicating in a way where it made it seem like they were making a decision, when in reality there was a lot of emotional confusion here. Some of you could be dealing with a Gemini, Virgo, or a Scorpio. Okay, how is this person feeling? Okay, so we have the King of Swords followed by the Queen of Pentacles. Someone who feels like they gave up on a situation too soon. And, with the King of Swords, I do feel like this is a very practical energy that they're in, or they're trying to get to the bottom of an issue here. But I also feel like they are viewing their silence to have impacted you or this connection in a very negative way, where it's like they're almost questioning, is there anything left for me to do? Could I reconnect with Taurus this week? Is it going to make sense? And with the Queen of Pentacles, they're viewing you in this very stable energy, possibly even very assertive, where it's like you know what you want, but you're also being very cautious with where you're putting your energy this week as well. And really, Taurus, what I'm picking up on is there's some sort of leniency that's being highlighted. So, like, you were either very lenient with this person in the past, or you were very patient, and they feel like you no longer are. Or, even if it's not, you're showing that you're growing impatient, maybe you're not as invested. And that's why this person is jumping to that conclusion here. We have the Hanged Man. Some of you could be dealing with the Pisces. Yeah, they feel very stuck. They also feel like this connection has been at a stalemate for quite some time here. But I do see a shift in perspective, viewing you in a different light, or having some sort of a full circle moment here this week. And, with the Queen of Pentacles and the Hanged Man, I also feel like they're viewing you in this very analytical energy, where it's like, okay, whether it's you're kind of wanting this person to meet you halfway, or you're doing more observing or listening as opposed to speaking, they're just viewing you in this very observant energy, or like almost like you're analyzing the situation, but you're not really acting on your emotions, or not really doing anything impulsively. We have the Seven of Pentacles clarifying the King of Swords. Yeah. So the Seven of Pentacles is when someone is looking at a situation and they're like, okay, is this worth the investment? Right? Is there anything I can say or do in the current moment that's going to change the dynamic of the situation? Or is that just something, that's not going to work? And I also feel like with the Seven of Pentacles, they do feel the both of you have attained a lot together, but they're seeing where there's room for improvement. But I'm strongly getting that they don't know if they can actually do something to change the situation. You have a very confused individual here. You have someone who feels like, there's a lot that's up in the air when it comes to this connection, or a lot of questions that went unanswered. And the Seven of Pentacles clarifying the King of Swords could also be someone who feels like you've cut ties with them because they were in between worlds. They were not really making a firm decision. Maybe they were telling you just enough to keep you around, but at one point you possibly realized, okay, this is someone who's very indecisive or confused, and I'm no longer invested. The High Priestess. This is someone who spends a lot of time thinking about you when they're on their own. There's something about keeping thoughts about you or thoughts about this connection to themselves. Heavy Piscean energy. And the High Priestess could also be someone who's kind of like using their intuition to maneuver through a situation. So if there's like a lack of communication between the both of you, they are trying to pick up on your energy or figure out how you feel without being direct here. And the High Priestess is actually clarifying the Queen of Pentacles. So this is someone who's trying to put a finger on how you feel, but there's a lot of uncertainty here. They feel like you're being silent with them, but you know more than you show. So there could be something that that has come to light about this person for you, but you're not necessarily communicating it to them. You're keeping it to yourself. The Ten of Pentacles. What's the Seven of Pentacles? The Two of Swords. So for some of you, there's some sort of obligation that this person feels. Or there's a situation, I should say, that they feel obligated to. And with the Two of Swords, not only is that an indecisive energy, that could be someone who's in a state of denial. Yes, they're observing the connection with you, but they feel like they wanted something more, but they weren't able to attain that because of their indecisive behavior. Whether it's, a situation that they felt entitled to, whether it's someone who was moving on from another connection, possibly even involves, elsewhere while connecting with you. What I see is a lot of confusion, uncertainty. There is a desire to mend things with you. But I think that there are certain things that they're choosing not to accept, certain things that they're in denial about, which is causing them to have a lack of clarity here. The Two of Swords could also indicate when someone's having a hard time finding a new approach, like something could have progressed the same way between the both of you for, for a while here. And so it's like, I don't know how to change my approach, or things have always been the same between Taurus and I, but I don't feel like if I go in with the energy that I pursued Taurus with in the past, it's going to work in the now, but what do I do differently? And so that's where the uncertainty lies, or there's questions or confusion. Four of Wands. What's the Ten of Pentacles? The Nine of Pentacles. Wow. So here's what I will say, Taurus. If you're going to know your situation better than I will, but if this person had some obligations or they were entitled to another situation, I do see that they are free from that with the Nine of Pentacles here. Yes, they have reconciliation on their mind, but their main concern this week is how to get through to you, or how to approach the situation in a way where you're viewing them as someone who's actually going to follow through on what they're telling you. I also feel there's a lot of confusion stemming from a space of your silence, right? So if you're like, you know what, this person has caused a lot of confusion, they've given me mixed signals and I'm choosing to keep to myself, it is something that's bothering them because they're trying to figure you out, but they're unable to. It's only resulting in more confusion here. And I feel like this is either like an energy of like the right person or the wrong time, because this is someone who still feels connected to you. They want to reconnect here. But in the past, I think they were telling you certain things they weren't able to follow through on because of another situation at hand. And now, yes, with the Nine of Pentacles, it could be read as someone who's single, who's free, and they feel like, okay, I'm in a space where I can actually act on my emotions. But they're trying to figure out how you feel or where you stand. And they may, I don't want to say they're viewing the situation as a missed opportunity, but even when I opened this spread, initially what I was getting in their feelings is like looking at something, witnessing something that is occurring, but feeling like they're just kind of watching and not really knowing what to do. So there is a part of this person that feels a bit powerless. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to you, Gemini. Okay. Gemini, let's see here. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Prayer. Okay. And what's on the bottom of the deck here? We have vanity. Seems to me, Gemini, that there could be like an individual that's operating from a space of ego or pride. Like, I'm getting an energy of someone who either admires something about you, okay, but they wish that they were able to meet you halfway, or there's some sort of comparisons going on here. And with the prayer card, it could be praying for like a breakthrough. It could be manifesting something in particular when it comes to this situation here. But on an intuitive level, I also feel like, again, there's like an energy of wanting to meet you halfway, but either feeling like they're unable to do that, or it's someone who's stuck in like a mentality of lack. I do see someone who wants a positive outcome. I do see someone who feels connected to you, but I think that there are some sort of insecurities that are resurfacing for them this week, or they're asking themselves like, this is what I want with Gemini, but am I capable of, truly attaining that? Okay, so we have the Sun card on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with the Leo and the Knight of Wands. So this is someone who is rushing in, or they're really looking forward to communicating with you. And so there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of attraction here. But the Knight of Wands is not the most consistent energy. So this could be someone who's coming in hot and heavy this week, but they're unable to maintain that energy, or they're a little bit fickle here. And the Sun card, they feel like you make them very happy, but there may be something pertaining to their lifestyle where they're accepting that they're not able to offer you something that you're deserving of. Or it's someone who feels connected to you, but they're also very inconsistent, and they know that it's, impacting you or the connection with you in a negative way. I also feel, Gemini, like this could be someone who wants to speak to you or communicate something to you, but there's a level of ego or pride, or it would require them to let go of something that they're struggling to let go of. Okay, how is this person feeling about Gemini? The Knight of Pentacles, okay, and the Seven of Cups, feeling very confused. This may be an individual who was, sending you mixed signals here. You could be dealing with a Taurus or a Scorpio, okay? But Knight of Pentacles is someone who's creating a plan, wanting to move towards you. But I think that this week they're dragging their feet to do something, right? Even if you're connecting with them, there's a lot of inconsistency. You may feel like you're not really sure where they stand emotionally. And they are viewing the situation as, okay, there are mixed signals between Gemini and I. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of uncertainty. I think in their mind, they want something more, or they want to move to a stable space. But because of the uncertainty or the confusion that they feel, they're not really making an efficient plan. It is something they have in mind, but I don't really see it as someone who has a plan in place and is, acting on this, plan that they've created. The King of Cups. Trying to remain emotionally balanced, okay? So this could be a week where they feel like they're on, what may feel like an emotional roller coaster, or they feel like their emotions are all over the place, especially with the Seven of Cups and the King of Cups. But it's like the King of Cups is when, it's more of an emotionally balanced energy. So I do think they're trying to keep their emotions intact. Even if they feel bombarded by a lot of thoughts and emotions, they're trying to kind of keep it together or be at a space where they feel more balanced before connecting with you. And this could also indicate that this is someone who actually wants to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. They want to know where you stand, emotionally. Because what I see is someone who feels on top of the world, or very happy and excited when they are connecting with you. But there are still a lot of questions that they have when it comes to the emotions here. So there may be an energy that avoids, conversations pertaining to emotions or intimacy here. And that could be the reason why there is a lot of uncertainty. Six of Wands. They're doing something to grab your attention this week. Whether this is online, whether this is someone that you see on a day-to-day basis, I feel like they want your attention. They're definitely wanting a successful outcome here. But here's what I will say. They're trying to control some sort of an urge, or they're trying their best not to be impulsive. We did see the Knight of Wands, and I feel like this is someone who kind of just does things in the spur of the moment. And that is something that they're trying to control this week. And it could be because you've communicated that you don't appreciate them being impulsive, or kind of just, doing things without thinking about the repercussions of them. But it's like trying to slow down or trying to do something intentionally is what I'm picking up on here. The Strength card, yeah. As I was saying, they're fighting an urge or trying not to do something impulsively. Strength card. A Leo energy, but the Strength card touches on someone with very deep and intense emotions, but they're not expressing them. So there could be a little bit of suppression going on when it comes to their emotions, but I'm specifically getting like they do want to open up to you emotionally. They do want to have a heart-to-heart conversation here, but they don't want to like come in where they're like love bombing you, or come in and do something impulsively and not be able to maintain that energy. They want you to view them as reliable. High Priestess. This person's feeling guided in your direction. The emotions that they have for you is something that they can't ignore, even if this is an individual that was very nonchalant with you in the past. Ten of Pentacles. You know what I'm seeing here, Gemini? Like, you have someone who's having a change of mind. Like, don't get me wrong. I do think that they have, you have a right to feel like this is someone who caused confusion, or they've been inconsistent. I do see that in the cards. I'm not taking away from that, but they've had a change in mind, or they're ready for something stable. And I think that's why they're changing their approach. Almost like, if I want something stable with Gemini, I can't, come in with a very impulsive energy like I have in the past, because then Gemini is not going to be convinced that I've matured or want something more here. The Lovers, there you are, yeah. So they feel connected to you. They're viewing you as a soulmate, but they're also aware that they did not make a firm decision in the past. The Lovers is it's a potent energy, yes, but it does touch on, or it boils down to choices. Okay. This could be a long distance union, or I could be picking up on emotional distance where they want to have a heart to heart conversation, but they also want to make a firm decision about this connection here. High Priestess, Two of Swords, wanting to clear up confusion, receive some sort of clarity. Two of Swords could be when someone is looking at the bigger picture, but there's a lack of clarity. There's a lot of confusion. There's something that they're not understanding or seeing clearly this week, which is what they want to clear up with you. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. Let's see. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Renewal, okay. Bottom of the deck, perception. The green cards, they are associated with your heart chakra, and we have the root chakra here, okay. Someone is wanting to connect with you, but they want to build something on stable grounds here, Cancer. So like if this is someone that you have connected with in the past, or even if the history between the both of you is brief, this is someone who feels like they have gotten off on the wrong foot with you, or there was some sort of a false start, and they want to have a new start here with the renewal energy. And with the perception card, I think that they're seeing you in a different light. But here's what I'm getting. While you were connecting with this person in the past, there's something that they were healing from. Okay. So whether it's, healing from a past connection, past experiences, or there's something that they were healing within. They were healing from, maybe a situation that occurred, yes, or there's some sort of insecurities that they had to heal in order to have something stable with you. And this is someone who feels like they were unable to get something off the ground with you, or there's some sort of a false start that they're not pleased with. And with the renewal card, this person could also view you as someone who's very like you're keeping to yourself, but you're focused on recharging this week. So maybe you are someone who's usually out and about, or you're very social, but this week they feel like, Cancer is going back into their shell, for instance, right? Or they're recharging, or they're keeping to themselves here. Being very picky and choosy with where you want to put your energy, or where you want to invest your energy. So how is this person feeling about Cancer? Okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles and we have the Three of Wands. You have someone who's waiting for something to happen, Cancer. Whether it's they're anticipating a message from you, whether it's there's like an ongoing waiting game between the both of you. But with the Four of Pentacles, it could be someone who's withdrawn. It could be someone who is, waiting for something to happen, but you're not really viewing them in an action-oriented energy. But I also feel with the Four of Pentacles, this is a week where they definitely feel you're keeping to yourself. Like there may be a genuine concern of what you are up to, or if this is someone that you usually communicate with. It's like they're trying to figure you out, but they feel like you're in this very hidden or discreet energy. The Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. So they feel like there's a disconnect between the both of you. They feel like there is something that they either offered you, okay, or like either it could be an offer or their investment in this situation, but they feel like you're not pleased Because the Four of Cups is like, yes, it could be someone questioning your interests, but it's usually when you feel some sort of disconnect or there's a lack of emotional fulfillment here. They're definitely tired of the stagnancy, but I'm strongly getting like moving towards you or wanting to make something clear when it comes to, again, wanting something stable with you. But with the Four of Cups, they either, because the Four of Cups is your energy, Cancer, right? So it's like they either feel like you're not interested or you're not viewing them in the same light. You don't want to invest in this situation the way that you, have or did in the past here. They may even feel like they took a while to come forward or do something, and now it's like, are we still on the same page, or is this just going to continue, being at a stalemate here? Three of Pentacles. They definitely want to have a conversation, is what I see. And so the Three of Pentacles is not necessarily a card of commitment, but, instead it's a card of like negotiating something, discussing something, wanting to come to a mutual agreement here. But I feel that they're trying to be very realistic about the situation, but there's something that they're very unhappy about this week, Cancer. Um, it could be the fact that they feel there's a lack of interest on your end. It could be the disconnect, right? It's like, I really want to connect with Cancer. I really want to come to a mutual agreement, but I don't think that we're on the same page, or I don't feel like Cancer wants to open up to me, because I do sense that they're viewing you in more of like a closed off energy, or you're not as open as you were, in the past, or how you usually are. And they're seeing the difference in your energy as well. The Magician. So this is someone who has a specific outcome in mind, or they have this vision of what they want with you, how they want things to transpire between the both of you. And I'm also getting here, Cancer, with the Magician, like there is a level of confidence or someone feeling more courageous in their approach this time around, but they may be met with a result, or your response or lack of could be something that's stressing them out here, because something is not going according to plan, but they don't want to give up. They still want to discuss something with you, because when they're thinking about you or the situation this week, they're not feeling at ease. The Chariot, there you are, clarifying the Four of Cups, yeah. They're viewing you as someone who, I don't want to say is moving forward. They feel like you're actually at a different place emotionally, mentally in the now, which is why you're not as, or which is why there's a disconnect. Like something either no longer resonates with you, Cancer, or they feel like you are not as interested as you once were. You're not as invested as you once were. Right, the Chariot is progress, forward movement, but it's also a card of like direction and focus. So they may feel like you're either working towards a goal, or you're headed in a different direction, or there's something else that is taking up most of your energy and focus in the current moment, where you're kind of putting this connection on the back burner, or you're not as focused on it. Five of Wands. Cancer, this person may feel like there's a lot that they want to explain to you. Okay, so there could have been a lot of confusion in the past. There could have been external influences that were impacting this connection as well. But the Five of Wands, yes, it could speak about obstacles, but there's something here where this person feels like there's a lot of petty arguments or a lot of bickering that the both of you could have possibly avoided. And I think that's something that they want to bring to light here. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus. What's the Chariot? The Four of Wands. You have a very determined individual here, someone who does want to work towards a higher level of commitment, someone who wants to, reconnect with you. But I think the first step is to clear up any confusion, or come to a mutual agreement about certain things that you guys could have avoided in the past. Right? It doesn't mean you need to agree with this energy, but this is what's going on in their feelings. So there could have been arguments. Maybe there were external influences that were in the way of the both of you creating something stable together. And now they're looking at it and they're like, was it worth it? And they don't feel like it was worth it. Instead, they feel like it's something that the both of you shouldn't have, or you guys should have avoided it, A, or B, they feel like external influences impacted the both of you more than they should have. The Five of Pentacles. definitely feeling like an outsider in your life. I think that this is a week where they're really missing you. And again, they are determined to reconnect or work something out with you. But there are certain things that they don't agree with in the past, that occurred in the past, that they want to leave in the past. They're like, let's not go back there. Let's not do that again, or let's avoid that, right? Yes, it could be certain things between the both of you, but I'm also getting that there could have been a lot of chaos or drama from external influences impacting this connection as well. And that's something that they want to detach from, or they don't want to allow that to have so much power over the connection that you guys share. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Leo. Okay, Leo, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have the complacency card. Okay, and then we have expansion on the bottom. Okay. So, Leo, this is a very clear message that this is someone who either feels very stuck mentally, or they're analyzing a connection with you this week and they're like, wow, this has been at a stalemate for a very long time. You know, we do have the expansion card on the bottom of the deck. So it could be something, it could be someone who's desiring something more or wanting to see some sort of growth. But for the complacency card to come out, again, I think there are either mental restrictions that they feel, or it's someone who's like, I want to see progress, I want to see growth, but things have been stuck between Leo and I for quite some time here. I don't know if I could do anything to change that. Let's see. So we have the Emperor and the Page of Cups. You know, you have someone here who's really struggling to open up emotionally, and that may be what created some sort of a block in this connection. Okay, with the Emperor as well as the complacency card, I also feel like you could be thinking of an individual where you are viewing them as someone who's like stuck in their ways, or they have a very specific way of doing something, which is fine. But you may also feel like in order for something to flow, they would need to release control, which could be something that they're struggling with doing here. But again, with the Emperor and the Page of Cups, I think this is someone who's struggling to open up to you emotionally this week. And I'm not saying that they're unable to open up to you, you know, entirely, but there may be some sort of conversations pertaining to emotions that they tend to avoid. Okay, how is this person feeling about Leo? Some of you could be dealing with an Aries or a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay. So we have the Fool card and the Page of Wands. Two of Wands. These three cards are giving me a very different energy in comparison to the complacency card, because the fool card, the Page of Wands and the Two of Wands, is someone who's planning their first steps towards you. Like, it could be something fairly new, okay? Or even if you have history with this person, it's like turning over a new leaf. Clarify the Fool, the Eight of Wands. So this could be someone who's actually breaking the silence with you this week. It may be communication that you manifested. Maybe you wanted to see some sort of a change here, but felt like you were giving up on a connection because it felt very, you know, like things were stuck, or it was at a stalemate for quite some time. But I think that this is someone who's reaching out to you this week. Even if it seems impulsive, Leo, I think that it's something they've been planning for quite some time with the Two of Wands. But they may come in like a very light-hearted way. And we did see the Emperor and the Page of Cups, so it doesn't have to be this emotional outpour or this large offer, but it's someone who's letting you know that they admire you, that they are, you know, taking a liking towards you. but they may have like a specific way of doing things, or they have a specific plan in mind. I could even be picking up on the energy of someone who's very like traditional. The Seven of Wands. They feel like you have some sort of a guard up. Okay, there could have been disagreements, in the past, or they feel like you're not necessarily opening up to them this week, or there's, again, you have a guard up or some sort of an armor around your heart. But the Seven of Wands clarifying the Page of Wands is like, yes, they're reaching out to you. They're excited to communicate with you, but they feel like you guys are not on the same page. Whether it's they're like, well, Leo's not excited to hear from me, or they feel like you're not opening up, which is causing them to feel a level of uncertainty or kind of questioning where you stand emotionally here. And, the Page of Wands could be a very exciting energy. Like some of you, when you receive this message, you are feeling happy or there's a bit of excitement here, but I don't think you're really showing that to this person. And there may be something that you communicated in the past, which is indicating to this person that you do not trust them or the situation, with the Seven of Wands energy, the Ten of Pentacles. So they're focused on the bigger picture. They're wanting something more with you, but they're not mentioning that, like, that's not something that they mention initially. Because here's what I'm getting. Someone who's coming in a very lighthearted way, feeling like you don't trust them or the situation, but wanting to clear up any sort of uncertainty. But they're not really telling you what they have in mind or what they want to work towards. Whether it's because this is like more of a private person, or they're keeping a plan to themselves because they're testing the waters with you. Because the energy that they're coming in with this week, Leo, is not the energy that they're going to remain in. Like, even if they're coming in a very lighthearted way, they want something more real, or they want to take things more seriously with you. Eight of Wands, the Sun card. Yeah, I'm strongly getting this is communication that's going to make you very happy, but you're not showing it. Maybe you feel like in the past when you did show your, excitement, or maybe you feel like it didn't work out, or maybe you feel like in the past you had high hopes and you felt very let down or disappointed. So there is an energy of you being happy about this communication, but also wanting something to feel stable or tangible prior to allowing yourself to fall for them completely. Two of Cups. This is someone who's absolutely in love with you. And the Two of Cups, guys, is also associated with your higher self. So they're being guided in your direction, even though they feel this defensive energy, or they know that you may be guarded towards them. Their desire to reconnect with you or create something stable is outweighing any sense of worry. What's the Ten of Pentacles and Knight of Cups? Yeah. So pretty much what I'm getting here is that you have someone reaching out to you, someone where the situation felt very complacent, or you felt like this is someone who's not going to reach out to me because they haven't, in X amount of time. So it could be a bit of a shock factor here. I do see that you may be a little defensive towards this person's communication because of the past that you guys share. But I think there's a lot of potential here with the Two of Cups and the Knight of Cups being the closing cards. They're confessing to you emotionally. And it could be that they want to get a conversation going. So you may kind of be wondering, what does this person want, moving forward? But here's what I see. They do want something stable. It's just not something that they're communicating to you this week. This week is more about reconnecting with you or having a conversation and having that conversation flow. They don't want something to feel forced here. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Virgo. Okay. Virgo, let's see. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Rejection. Okay. And then we have perseverance. Okay, so off the bat here, Virgo, what I'm getting is someone, like when I'm seeing the rejection card, I'm actually getting the energy of like the Four of Cups in tarot, like someone who's either questioning your emotions towards them or your interest here, or there's something about the way that you've responded to them that could make them feel a sense of rejection. Okay. On the flip side, you may be thinking about or inquiring about someone where a situation didn't progress the way that you thought it would. Right. So either you feel rejected by a person or you really wanted a situation to work out, but it has come to an end and you're kind of like questioning why. The High Priestess. So it could be someone that you're not speaking to, someone that you're in a period of no contact with. How is this person feeling about Virgo? Also, when I look at that image, it's like there's a lot that's coming to mind for this person, but there may be illusions that they're having a hard time seeing past. We have the Queen of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Someone is going through it emotionally and mentally, but on the outside, they're not, or on the external, they're not showing you that. This could be an individual who appears to be nonchalant, or someone who is like keeping it together, acting as if something is not impacting them. But Ten of Swords is a very defeated energy, or there is an ending that is impacting this person much more than they are showing. Okay. So how is this person feeling about Virgo? The Queen of Cups. Could be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Two of Pentacles, okay, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, Virgo, so you, someone here who's going back and forth in their energy about offering you their cup of love or opening up to you emotionally. So what I'm seeing is like there could be a fear of rejection, or it's someone who's really trying to figure out how you're feeling or where you stand emotionally. Furthermore, Ace of Cups doesn't always have to be new love or someone that you're newly connecting with. It could also be someone who wants to turn over a new leaf here. But I see it as like an emotional confession. So they want to be open with you, but they're not sure. They're uncertain. And I think it has a lot to do with thinking about how you're going to respond or wondering if you guys are on the same page here. Seven of Cups. There's a lot of, emotional confusion. They could feel like there are constant mixed signals between the both of you. Some of you are dealing with a Scorpio. But with the Two of Pentacles as well as the Seven of Cups, I think that this is a week where they're really up in their mind about you. They're going back and forth about an offer. There's a level of uncertainty. This could be someone who's keeping their options open, okay? Or it's someone who is feeling connected to you, but wondering or questioning if they should put all their eggs in one basket. And even though I am picking up on this emotional confusion, it is someone who wants to open up to you. It is someone who wants to confess how they feel, but Two of Pentacles being the first card in their feelings kind of tells me all I need to know. There's more of a back and forth energy, or they're feeling very indecisive this week. Virgo, I feel like if this person had a way of knowing exactly how you would respond to their confession, they would do it in a heartbeat. But because they don't, it's almost it's instilled some sort of fear in them, or they're operating from fear-based thoughts, right? Fear of your response, fear of rejection. The Hermit. Yeah, they feel very stuck mentally. They are thinking about you, quite a bit here this week, but they also feel like you're keeping to yourself. Of course, the Hermit is your energy, but it's like, this may be someone who's trying to figure you out, but they feel like there's some sort of mystery surrounding you. Or if you are someone who usually, is very social, or you communicate with them, this could be a week where you've kind of withdrawn your energy, or you're keeping to yourself, where they can't necessarily put a finger on how you feel. They're also viewing you as someone who, like, there's a lot of depth to you. There's layers here, right? But they may feel like they're not able to get to know you on a deeper level, or there's a bit of a closed off energy where they can sense that you're not necessarily wanting to open up to them. Ace of Pentacles, wow. So they're definitely wanting something stable here. They're not only are they wanting to confess how they feel, Ace of Pentacles could even be read as like the path to marriage, someone who's ready to, invest in a connection. And I don't see that they're uncertain about how they feel towards you. I see it as someone who is uncertain about your response or where you stand. And like I said, I do sense they're operating from, a space of fear where maybe they're assuming the worst case scenario, right? Or they're assuming that you don't feel the same way or you're not on the same page here. What's the Seven of Cups? Eight of Swords. So the con of this card is obviously someone who feels mentally restricted or someone who feels stuck in their thoughts. But the pro of the Eight of Swords is like we can take ourselves out of this energy. There's something here they're telling themselves that is creating a block. They're in their own way. I really see this as almost like a case of self-sabotage because there's nothing that is solid or nothing that is proving that their thoughts are correct, but they're feeding into their thoughts, which is creating a block. The Hermit, the Hierophant, wow. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus. This is someone who feels like they could build with you. This is someone who may have been exploring their options, but there's something about you that is really standing out to them. But there are also some sort of insecurities that are resurfacing for this person this week. Okay. The Hierophant could also touch on like, your moral code or values or religious factors. So there may be some sort of differences between the both of you where they're like, can we actually work through that? Like, is that a realistic thing to even think about? Or, is that going to be a deal breaker? Queen of Cups. What's the Eight of Swords? The Death card. They really want to put an end to their overthinking here. They know that they're up in their mind about you, but there may be certain thoughts that are really hard for them to detach from. And the Queen of Cups clarifying the Ace of Pentacles, I do think they're going to open up to you. I do think they're going to let you know that they're taking a liking towards you. But maybe in a very subtle way. Because I can't ignore the other cards, which are letting me know there are either, like I said a minute ago, insecurities that are resurfacing, or they're very uncertain about where you stand or fearing really just some sort of rejection. And I'm not saying that you've given this person a reason to believe that you're going to reject them. This is more about what's going on for them mentally, right? Eight of Swords is the thoughts that we're thinking, the thoughts that we're feeding into in our own mind. And I think that's what's creating a block, or it's someone who's in their own way this week. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra. So let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. We have bittersweet. Okay, and service. This is very specific here, Libra, but some of you are, you're thinking of someone who's going through a very difficult period, whether it's like there's something with health coming through. Like they could be, for example, like a caregiver. So there could be like a family member, maybe they have children of their own or a friend or, someone that is going through or facing a health issue or someone that they have to care for and it's feeling very like exhausting or draining for them. Okay, that's what I was getting with that service card, the image. But with bittersweet, it's like, again, like I think that this is someone who is going through something emotionally, mentally this week, and they're trying to keep it together. There's something about the situation where they feel like there are certain things that are working out between the both of you, but there's also an energy of, okay, here's where there's room for improvement. There could also be some sort of communication where this person feels like it needed to occur, but they also feel like it's something that's difficult for them to accept. Like something could be unfolding the way that they think it's supposed to, but it doesn't mean that it feels difficult to, it doesn't mean that it doesn't feel difficult to accept how things are unfolding here. Okay, how is this person feeling about Libra? Okay, so we have the Fool card and the Ten of Cups. Well, they feel very strongly towards you. But the Fool card and the Ten of Cups could indicate like a new beginning in a connection, or someone who's feeling a little more courageous or confident about pursuing, something with you. But I will say, guys, like there's something to do with like a family dynamic or something that this person feels obligated to this week that is really stressing them out. Even if it has nothing to do with you, Libra, I think it impacts their ability to connect with you the way that they want to. Okay. So let's see. The Queen of Pentacles and the Magician. Definitely wanting to, again, like invest in you or a connection with you, viewing you as their version of like an ideal partner. And they're viewing you in this very like practical, comforting energy as well, where they could feel very secure as they're connecting with you. They may feel like they're able to open up to you about certain things that are very difficult for them to speak about. But what I see is like they want something in particular to occur between the both of you, or they have this specific vision. But this could be a week where it's like, am I able to attain that? Am I able to, get this off the ground here? The Ace of Swords. They want to speak their truth, or there's something that they want to admit to. And the Ace of Swords could also be like a breakthrough in a situation, but it's usually a breakthrough that occurs after some form of sacrifice. So like I said, whether it's something this person feels like is like an obligation or a situation that they feel entitled to, there's something here they need to let go of or leave behind in order to have something stable with you, or in order to experience a breakthrough here. And I'm strongly getting with the Magician and the Ace of Swords, they're wanting an opportunity to open up and be truthful. There may be something that they were not communicating to you in the past, whether it's because they were not proud of it or they did not feel ready to speak about it. But in the now, it's like, I want to be fully open with Libra is what I'm sensing in their energy. The Queen of Pentacles, a star card. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius. They're very hopeful when it comes to the future of this connection. There's something about you that stands out to them. I mean, it could be the way that you make them feel, but I also feel with the star card clarifying the Queen of Pentacles, it's someone who's viewing you as, you possess a lot of unique qualities. There's something very special, rare about the connection that you guys share. And I see someone, again, who is very hopeful. Even if things feel bittersweet in the current moment, even if there are obstacles in this connection, they are hopeful that you guys can overcome those obstacles. And they're hoping the lessons only make the both of you stronger. Seven of Swords. Okay, what's the Ace of Swords? The High Priestess. Yeah. There's definitely, okay, if this is not someone who's involved elsewhere, it's like a situation that they feel entitled to. Like I said, if they are a caregiver, right? It's like, I have to take care of this. I have to do A, B, and C, but I'm also trying to invest in a connection with Libra. Now, the Seven of Swords specifically clarifying the Magician and then followed by the Ace of Swords is someone who knows they were not transparent with you. They could have explained something in a way where it was like their choice of words, but really it was like a white lie that turned into something larger, right? Or, plain and simple, the Magician and the Seven of Swords could be someone where they feel like they emotionally manipulated you, even if it's not something they were planning to do, or even if they feel like they expressed something in the wrong way, they know that they were not truthful with you, which is why there's this deep desire to be honest with you in the now. So this could be something in particular they were not communicating at all, or the way that they explained a situation or an obligation that they had to you was very different from what was actually going on, right? Whether it's, I need to take care of this, but it's just for the time being. But really, maybe the reality of it was it wasn't for the time being, and it's something that they're actually entitled to for, X amount of time. Like there's a small form of dishonesty that led to something more. It could have even, led to you feeling like this person betrayed your trust. But I do see that in the now, they want to admit to something. They want to, take accountability with the Ace of Swords, the King of Cups. They want to have a heart-to-heart conversation here. This is someone who feels like they're ready to open up to you emotionally. What's the Seven of Swords? The Six of Wands. Some of you are connecting with an individual who has like an image to maintain, okay? And so they express something to you to either keep you around or so that you can give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it felt okay in the moment, but in the now, there's a lot of regret. There's a lot of, I'm not happy with how I operated. I'm not happy with the lack of transparency or the dishonesty here. And the guilt that they feel is what's driving them to be open with you. High Priestess, King of Swords. You could have, created some sort of distance between the both of you, or were choosing to be withdrawn or, not give your energy to a situation and kind of go silent on this person because of, their dishonesty here. But I really feel like they want to clear this up with you. And I think that there's a strong sense of guilt that they're feeling when it comes to you or the situation here this week. They can sense you're upset with them. They can sense the anger and frustration. But they feel like the only thing that they can really do is own up to what they were dishonest about. If someone's dishonest, it doesn't matter whether it's they were trying to cover something up or, their intention behind it. Dishonesty is dishonesty, right? And I think that's what this person is accepting here. And I'm strongly getting like they expressed something to you in a way where they were painting a picture as if it wasn't as severe as it actually was. So downplaying a situation. And that's what they want to admit to. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have despondence and self-worth. Scorpio, I'm getting strong energy of someone who is realizing like something about themselves, or like they're in a period of reflection here. Now, I am getting that there could be a level of like, ego or pride that's involved, but it's someone who feels very like upset, sad. There's a lot of sorrow. There's a lot of hurt or feeling very torn about the situation. And with self-worth, I feel like it's either someone who feels like they don't feel like they are enough, or they feel like they don't feel like they are doing enough in a connection. There's something that they're feeling a bit insecure about when it comes to themselves. There could also be like a disconnect between the both of you, and they're trying to make sense of something. Specifically, when I look at the first image, I'm getting like an energy of someone who feels very confused, or they feel like they're tangled in something where it's like, how do I come out of this? Okay. How is this person feeling about Scorpio? Some of you could be dealing with the Gemini. We have the Lovers and the Four of Wands. Yeah, it's like this is someone who has commitment on their mind, or they're feeling deeply connected to you, but there's a sense of like there's like an energy of indecision or not making a choice, but it's because they don't feel worthy, or it's something that they're battling. Like it seems to me that it's more of an internal issue. I don't think it's something that directly occurred between the both of you, but it could be an energy of like, okay, I want more, or I want to pursue something with Scorpio, but I don't know if I'm able to meet them halfway. Or there's something going on for them mentally or emotionally, and it feels very difficult for them to process. Okay. How is this person feeling about Scorpio? Okay, so we have the Four of Swords and the Star card. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius. Someone feels safer in your silence this week. it's like there's a lot that they're keeping to themselves, but it's in a way where it's like, if I don't figure this out on my own, I'm going to project that, project these emotions onto the connection. It's like they want to figure something out on their own, or they know, or they feel like something that they're going through is an issue that they have to find a solution for. And they are trying not to bring you into it, is what I'm getting here. And so, Four of Swords being the first card in their feelings, I mean, they could actively be healing from something, whether it's something they've went through on their own or something you guys have gone through together. But we also have the Star card, which is someone who's holding on to faith that you guys could work something out here, that they're able to overcome what maybe feels impossible to overcome in the current moment. They know what they share with you is, the connection that they share with you is very special. We did see the Lovers as well, so they view you as a soulmate. But I'm strongly getting someone who's keeping to themselves, because what they're going through mentally and emotionally, they feel like is a them problem. The Temperance. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. There may have been like a lack of balance between the both of you. And so this could be a card where it's like, indicating that someone wants to restore balance with you, or restore balance in this connection. But they are, with the Star card Temperance, they're viewing you as someone that they work very well with. They view this connection as, it just flows. Nothing feels forced. It feels very meant to be. But either they're in their own way, or they're feeding into some sort of negative thoughts this week, and that's what they're trying to detach from or let go of. Four of Swords, Knight of Swords. I do see them communicating with you. It could be very unexpected. It could also be very impulsive, because the Knight of Swords is an energy of like when you think of something and you act on it right away. So it could be this person feels like if they don't act on their emotions right away, they're going to overthink to the point where they talk themselves out of reaching out. Some of you could be dealing with the Cancer. They're headed in your direction. This is a card of direction and focus. But I will say that there's something here that they're struggling with mentally, whether it's self-worth, right? How they view themselves. Maybe it's something that they feel mentally confused about. And this is someone that feels like you guys have a lot of history together, but there's something in the past here that they feel very defeated by. Let's just, for a generic example, say that it could be a negative experience, okay? Or it could be a conflict between the both of you in the past. And they're like, okay, are we going to be able to work through that? Or is that going to become a deal breaker? You have someone here who wants to restore balance or fix, an issue that you guys are facing, but they're afraid of the past being brought into the present. The Death card, wanting to leave the past in the past. They may also feel like you're viewing them in a completely different light. There's some sort of a, transformation that you've went through that is visible to them. And even if there was an ending, yes, they're hopeful. But they may also feel like something is just not going to be the same moving forward. And that could be the reason why they feel very defeated, or that could be the very thing that's impacting them on a mental level. Watching you from afar, I think that even if their communication seems impulsive, it's something that they've been planning for quite some time here. And this could also be an individual who feels like they were not very direct with you in the past. Like they weren't directly, communicating, or maybe they, you were aware of their emotions towards you, but they were keeping them suppressed. Knight of Pentacles. What's the Death card? The Nine of Swords. Yeah. They're moving towards you. They feel called in your direction, but Nine of Swords being the closing card and the Four of Swords being the first card in their feelings is someone who's very stressed out, anxious, and they're in their own way, or they're feeding into thoughts that are maybe not serving them for their highest good. And I will say that this could be someone who struggles with a lot mentally that they don't share with you as well. I'm not trying to diagnose anyone, but it could be someone who's facing mental health issues, for instance, or, if it's their self-image or self-worth. And that is something that we have to figure out on our own, right? So that could be the reason why they're like, this is not something I'm going to bring to Scorpio. This is not something I'm proud of, but I also feel like I have to work through it on my own. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the card Confusion. Okay, and bottom of the deck, Despondence. Okay. Someone doesn't know how to feel or what to think when it comes to you or the situation with you this week. I mean, yes, there's a level of confusion, but there may be something that they're trying to make sense of where it's like, this doesn't make sense to me, or I'm feeling very confused. It's a bit of a defeated energy coming through as well. And this card popped out, which is expansion. So it could be someone who wants something more or they want to see some sort of progress, but they're feeling very confused, or there's something that they're questioning here. There's like a bit of a doubtful energy. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have the Judgment on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Empress. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio, possibly a Libra or a Taurus. This could be an individual who has children of their own, or there's something with like a mother figure energy coming through here. But Judgment and the Empress, you know, it boils down to someone who is fixated on you, viewing you as the entire package, but there may be something that they need to leave behind or something that needs to change in order for the both of you to see growth in this connection. Because with the Empress, I mean, they are viewing you as the entire package, but this is a card of potential, right? So they see the potential, but there's something here that needs to change in order for, you know, the both of you to experience that potential, or have something come into fruition here. Okay, so how is this person feeling about Sagittarius? The King of Cups, okay, and the Eight of Pentacles. Well, they're viewing you as someone who's very, you know, like focused on your finances or your career at this time. But for the King of Cups to be the first card in their feelings, they are wanting to have a heart-to-heart conversation here. They are wanting to know where you stand emotionally, okay? And the Eight of Pentacles could even be like an increase in their effort, right? Whether it's they're initiating a conversation, whether it's they're making plans to spend quality time with you. There's something that they don't usually do that they're beginning to do in the now, okay? But I'm also getting here, Sagittarius, like this is someone who wants to know where you stand emotionally, okay? But they also feel like your focus is elsewhere. So I'm not saying that you're focused on another individual or another relationship, but it could be that you're focused on another aspect or area of your life where they're wondering if you are wanting to work towards something more in this connection. Because as much as I feel this is someone who feels connected to you, I also think that it's someone who is confused about where you stand. The Hierophant. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus. What they want to work towards is like a higher level of commitment, or they're feeling ready to take the next steps with you, right? Whether that's putting a title on what you guys have, becoming, you know, exclusive. Maybe it's just being more, you know, consistent. Not for all of you is it going to be diving into a higher level of commitment, but I do see that it's something that's on their mind. King of Cups, the Three of Pentacles. They feel like they want to meet you at middle grounds. So if there's something that you guys are not seeing eye to eye on, they want to make peace with that. Come to a mutual agreement, even if it means to agree to disagree here. The Ten of Wands. This may be someone who has, you know, a lot of responsibilities, or something that they feel they have to maintain is becoming very draining or exhausting. You know, Ten of Wands could be like when things are feeling one-sided, or there's a responsibility that you feel entitled to, but you feel extremely drained by it, almost to the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Perfect. The Nine of Swords. Okay. This is very specific, Sagittarius, so only take it if it resonates, but this person feels obligated to a situation that they feel absolutely drained by. but they also feel like it would be very difficult to completely let go of it. And that's what's stressing them out. That's what's causing them to feel anxious. Yes, there's a question of where you stand emotionally, but I also think that the confusion, as I'm clarifying here, could stem from them trying to figure out what to do next or how to let go of something they actually don't want to be involved in. Three of Pentacles, Page of Wands. There's something very exciting about the communication between the both of you. Just connecting with you could feel like a breath of fresh air here with the Page of Wands. Exactly, is a Ten of Wands, a Ten of Swords. What's the Nine of Swords then? The three. Okay, yeah. So exactly what I said. They're trying to figure out how to let go of another situation at hand. Because I was like, this is someone who's very certain about their feelings towards you. This is someone who does want to take the next steps or move towards a higher level of commitment. But I do see a disagreement here or something that you guys are not seeing eye to eye on. Here's the thing. You have someone here who does want to pursue something with you, but they feel like they can't avoid a severe ending elsewhere. So pursuing you may require them to have an ending in their life, right? But they don't know if they're prepared for that, or they feel like it's going to be a very chaotic ending here. And this is someone who feels confused or stressed out because with the Three of Cups, there's an interference. And they know that they need to choose what to do here, but they're facing difficulty doing so. Why? Because they're trying to avoid an ending that they feel they actually cannot avoid. It's like, I don't want to experience an ending, but if I want something to take off between Sagittarius and I, then I have no choice but create this ending. And there's a lot of fear here. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, Capricorn, so we have the renewal card. Some of you could be connecting with a Cancerian. I'm pretty sure that's the card that they pulled. And then we have abundance here on the bottom of the deck. But on the abundance card, interestingly enough, there's like two very different energies here. Someone who seems, a bit stressed out. I also feel like there could be something going on behind the scenes that an energy is not like aware of. But with renewal, I feel like this is someone who wants to reconnect with you. Or it could be someone who feels like there was some form of like a false start between the both of you. Could even be read as like a renewal of hope, right? Feeling more hopeful or confident about something working out between the both of you this time around here. Also, when I look at that card, guys, like this may be someone who's viewing you to be in like a very self-focused energy, or you're keeping to yourself this week where you're more focused on recharging. Being very cautious with where you're investing your time and energy. Okay. So we have the Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I see this as a peace offering, Capricorn. Like someone reaching out to you, right? Whether it's through text message or phone call to create some sort of peace or restore some sort of balance in this connection, because in the current moment, they feel very hurt or torn with the Three of Swords. And it's like, it could be in the form of an apology. It could be in the form of, let's just, speak about how we feel, or wanting to admit to something here. But they want to make peace with you is what I'm seeing. Okay, how is this person feeling about Capricorn? The King of Swords. You've made something very clear. I mean, it could be that you've set very clear boundaries with this person, but they're viewing you as, giving them the cold shoulder this week. Five of Pentacles and the Death card. Okay. So there has been like a very severe, but also a very clear ending here. But this is someone who wants to reconnect with you. We have Scorpion energy. But for the Five of Pentacles to be the first card in their feelings, they're missing you. They're feeling very nostalgic, but they're also stuck in a mentality of lack, where it's like, I want to reconnect with Capricorn, but I don't know if that's realistic. Or I want to reconnect with Capricorn, but I don't feel like I am doing enough, or I don't feel like I am enough, right? Because again, I do sense like a mentality of lack. And with the Death card, guys, like that could be when there has been a severe change where you don't really know if you could reverse the effects of that. It's usually a change that we can't avoid. And so it could be a sense of, I want to speak to Capricorn, but I know that things are not going to be the same. I also feel like they're sensing a major energetic shift on your end. The Page of Cups. What's the Ace of Swords? Yeah. There's something they want to take accountability for, something that they want to own up to. So if this is an individual that was dishonest with you, or they walked away from a situation because it felt easier to do that instead of taking accountability, they are having a change of mind. They're reevaluating a past decision that they made to, dismiss this situation or walk away from it or be in like this very nonchalant energy. And I think they're reaching out to you to, yes, make some sort of peace with you, but also they're opening up emotionally. They want you to hear their truth, or they want you to hear the truth from their end and not from anyone else. The Strength card, some of you could be dealing with a Leo. This is someone who feels like they've been fighting an urge to reach out or to speak to you for quite some time. And the Strength card is, symbolic for deep, intense emotions that are being suppressed. So this is someone who knows they were not open with you emotionally, or an ending felt so severe and they were having a hard time fathoming or accepting those emotions where they could have completely been withdrawn. And in the now, it's like wanting to open up or speak to you about it. Two of Swords. Having a hard time seeing the bigger picture. Yes, there is incoming communication, but it's not from someone who has a plan in mind. And the Two of Swords and the Strength card could also be remaining held back because they were in a state of denial. Again, there's something that they were having a hard time accepting about this ending. And they may have even been running from it, but in the now or in the current moment, they're accepting the truth of a situation, and they actually want to speak to you about it. King of Pentacles. This could also be an individual who feels like they misunderstood you in the past, and so they're seeing you for who you are, or they're receiving some sort of clarity about you, even if it's like an assumption that they made, right? Even if they feel like they had it figured out in the past, in the now, it's like, okay, well, obviously I did not, or there's a decision that they're reevaluating, like I mentioned, Nine of Cups. And the Two of Swords, Three of Cups. This is someone who feels like they made a selfish decision, or they weren't taking your emotions into consideration. And they want to own up to it. They actually want to speak their truth. And I also see that this is something that has taken them a while to do. Because with the Five of Pentacles and the Death card, like, this is something that's happening much after an ending, A. And B, I think that this is someone who struggled to accept an ending and was in a state of denial for quite some time here. This could be a very indecisive individual, or someone who was, who put you in like a third party situation, or there's some sort of interference that they were not dealing with. But they definitely want to have a conversation with you because they're reevaluating what felt right to them in the past. Because in the now, they're questioning it. Whether it's taking the easy route out, or feeling like not speaking at all or being dishonest was the right thing to do in the past, in the now, they don't agree with it at all whatsoever. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, let's see. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have two cards here. We have rejection and perfection. Okay. I mean, off the bat here, Aquarius, someone could feel like a situation is not working out the way that they wanted to. So either they feel rejected by you, or they feel like, they had a specific outcome in mind and it's not, progressing the way that they thought it would, like a connection. But with perfection, there's almost a sense of feeling like something is unfolding the way that it's supposed to. But there could just be difficulty with accepting that. Like it could be a bit of like a bittersweet kind of feeling. Like, okay, this is what I feel like is the truth, or this is how things were supposed to unfold, but it doesn't mean that I agree with it, or it doesn't mean that I'm happy with it. With the rejection card, it could also be someone who is wanting to communicate with you, but there's a sense of fear, with either a fear of rejection or a fear of how you're going to respond. Virgo also pulled the rejection card, so you may have Virgo placements in your chart, or you could be dealing with one. Okay. We have Sagittarian energy with the Temperance, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there definitely has been a shift in this dynamic, but it seems to me that this is someone who's trying to make peace with you or restore some sort of balance here, but they're doing things in moderation. They're thinking about you, but they don't feel like they can act on their emotions right away, or not this week. Like there's a bit of, I don't want to say stalling, but like they're waiting for something to, settle here. Okay. Let's see. How is this person feeling about Aquarius? The Moon card, they actually don't know how to feel, or there's some sort of mystery surrounding you. They may feel like you're not being open with your emotions this week, so they can't really put a finger on how you feel about them or where you stand emotionally. The Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. This is someone who wants something stable with you, but they're either thinking about the worst case scenario, or they don't know if you're going to accept their offer, right? It could be something that's fairly new, okay? But even if it's not, it's a sense of, I want this to work out, or I have a vision of what I want with Aquarian, but I don't know if that's how it's going to turn out. And so there could be some sort of fear-based thoughts that they feel a bit controlled by this week. And the Page of Pentacles is usually like a message or a phone call, right? So I do see it as someone who's reaching out to you, right? Offering you their cup of love or something stable, but there's a bit of fear or a bit of a doubtful energy here. The Lovers, some of you could be dealing with a Gemini. Okay, so they are viewing you in this soulmate energy, feeling very connected to you. They feel like there's a lot of chemistry between the both of you. But the Lovers, it boils down to choices. So for example, if you have been connecting with this person, they could be acknowledging that things feel great, but they also feel like a choice needs to be made. It doesn't necessarily mean that, the choice could be something that needs to, or a decision could be very important, but it may not just be on one end. So I'm not saying that they feel only you have to make a decision here, but they feel like there's a lot that's up in the air, or there's some sort of indecision that's being highlighted for them this week. 8 of Pentacles. You're definitely going to see an increase in this person's effort. Someone who wants to work towards something stable with you. Someone who's showing you that they care for you through practical effort. You guys definitely could be dealing with an earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, or a Capricorn. What's the Ace of Pentacles? The 8 of Cups. Okay. So either there has been a separation between the both of you in the past, or this is someone where this connection was on some sort of a pause or a break, right? It's not about who chose to walk away or what caused, the break here, but because this person wants to return, there's a question of, are you accepting towards their return? Do you still feel the same way, or have you completely emotionally detached here? And I sense that there was something here that was not working as well, because the 8 of Cups is walking away from a situation when you're not emotionally fulfilled, or there's something important that is missing. We have the 5 of Cups. So this is someone who feels like they let you down, but they want to make it up to you in the now. Five of Cups clarifying the Lovers could also be someone who feels they want to reconnect with you in the current moment, but in the past they were extremely indecisive and they were mishandling the situation with you. They feel like they were operating in a careless manner. So yes, it's like, I want to speak to Aquarian now, but will Aquarian actually buy what I'm saying? Will they actually trust me again? Because that's not how I was operating in the past. 10 of Cups. What's the 8 of Cups? Ace of Wands. Wow. I think that this person has good intentions. They're coming back around to reconnect with you, but I can also see where or why you do not trust this person, or they're doubting, or there's fear-based thoughts when it comes to your response. It's because what they're offering you now, they were not able to offer you in the past. It could be what you wanted with this person in the past is coming in for you now, but this person is questioning, well, is it something that Aquarian still wants, or have they completely moved on? 5 of Cups, 9 of Swords. So the disappointment is what's stressing them out. And more specifically, how you're going to receive this confession is what's driving them up a wall. So it's about, is Aquarian going to forgive the past? And more importantly, do they feel the same way? Do they want a connection in the current moment? Or is that something that they've completely let go of? Like maybe for some of you, you felt this connection wasn't working out in the past. So you're like, I need to lose that thought, or I need to get this person out of my mind. Right? But here you have someone who's coming back around to have a new start. But is there a fear of rejection? Absolutely. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the card Confusion, which is kind of giving me the energy of the 7 of Cups in Tarot, and we also have Victim. Someone is not seeing something clearly about you or the situation with you this week because they could be stuck in a victim mentality, or there's more of a focus on what is being done to them or how they feel, and less of a focus on maybe the opposing party or the opposing energy that they're involved with. Because intuitively, I'm picking up on, yes, like someone who is very, I don't want to say self-centered, but their issues or their emotions are what they're mainly focused on. But it could be that they're failing to see another perspective, or for instance, your side of things, which is causing a lot of confusion for them. Okay, how is this person feeling about Pisces? We have the Knight of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. This person feels like opening up to you or confessing something emotionally has the potential to change the trajectory of this the bond here. But with the Wheel of Fortune, they also feel that something has been very stuck for a while, because the Wheel of Fortune is associated with more of a fixed energy. But what they feel is opening up or confessing something to you could potentially create a change in this dynamic. Okay, how is this person feeling about Pisces? Okay, so we have the 3 of Wands and the 2 of Cups. There's definitely some sort of distance between the both of you that is impacting this person, but it's someone who's acknowledging that they have a lot of love for you. Now, the 2 of Cups is someone who admires you, who's in love with you, but it's also associated with listening to your higher self. So they're feeling guided in your direction, but there may be something that they have a gut feeling about and they feel they need to act on it. And this is, something that's going on for them in the emotional department. I also see someone who is planning something with a 3 of Wands, right? That could be like analyzing a situation, creating a solid plan, but it's someone who's concerned about the future of this connection here. Page of Swords. Yeah. So they're acknowledging the distance, but when I see the 3 of Wands and the Page of Swords, that could also be someone who's watching you from afar or keeping tabs on you via social media. So it's not the most direct energy, but they do have a plan to communicate with you, or there's something that's happening for them on like an energetic level. Three of Wands, the Page of Cups. There's something about a confession, but also refraining from doing that in the current moment, or there's some sort of resistance there. It's like this person feels if they were to open up to you emotionally, it would change something in this connection. That's what they feel, right? It doesn't have to be the truth, but they're also refraining from doing so, whether it's because they feel like it's not the right time, or there's a conversation that it might lead to, like a confession might lead to, that they're avoiding here. This could also be someone who feels like they handled things in a very immature way with you in the past, and there's regret for that. The High Priestess. The other thing that I see here, Pisces, is like this person is viewing you as knowing more than you show. So like there could be something about this person that has come to light for you, but you're not communicating it. And so there could be a bit of mystery here, or this person feels like you are operating in a very discreet manner, or you're keeping something to yourself. And so this could be a very curious energy of, okay, what does Pisces know? Or why is Pisces not communicating something to me? Trying to figure something out about you on their own, not directly through you. Queen of Cups. I think they're heavily fixated on you this week. They're thinking about you very frequently. But what they're wanting is to open up to you, wanting to open up to you emotionally, but they're refraining from doing that this week. Whether it's because they feel like there's something that you know that they're not happy about, or there's a discussion or a conversation that they're trying to avoid. But it's very difficult for them because of how deeply they feel towards you. What's the Page of Cups? The King of Wands. So when you receive this message, right, from this person, they may come off very confident and courageous, which I'm not saying that they're not confident or courageous, but there is something that they're uncertain about, or something that they feel uncomfortable about that they're not bringing to the forefront. So how they're presenting themselves is very different from what's going on internally. They're determined to pursue something with you. There's a heavy fixation on you. But I think that there's a level of confusion, or there's something here they feel you know about them, but you're keeping it to yourself. Right? The Fool card, and what's the Queen of Cups? The Queen of Pentacles. I strongly feel that this is someone who feels they mishandled a situation with you in the past. Either they did not act on an opportunity when they had the chance to, or they were being very careless. They were not taking things as seriously as they feel they should have. And there may be something you were able to figure out about them, but on your own. And so that could be something they feel guilty about, or ashamed or guilty about. But I don't think they're going to bring it up. But it's almost like this unspoken truth that the both of you know. And you're going to feel this in the conversation that you guys, are having. Queen of Pentacles, the World card. So this could be a long distance union, or someone who's at, again, a physical distance from you. And there could be online communication. So the way that this person's interacting with you could definitely be online. And I see them opening up to you, but there's something here that they're also avoiding. Something that they think you know about them. That's the best way for me to boil down this energy. And I also see a lot of regret for being very careless, or kind of operating in a very nonchalant way, where in the now they want to prove their emotions towards you. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys this week. I really do hope you were able to find a message that resonated with you here today. And thank you so much for your time.